tired and my brain was aching subjecting myself to this nonsense. So let's get to it. This is Heel vs. Babyface and Nerdrotics trying to do a commentary on Ahsoka and failing badly at everything. So let's begin gently with them apparently confused about how a sword works.
Sword of Sauron. And I'm just like, what?
Yeah.
What does that mean? What does that entail?
Dude,
well, I think when you use a sword in combat, in terms of what this specific sword is, yes, it could have larger meaning. For the purposes of this episode, we don't need to know. And they say, well, Kant remembers it. Well, right, that's your problem. Why would Filoni have to cure your memory issue? Then it gets even more confusing and just dead dumb stupid when apparently they can't tell C.S. Lewis from J.R.R. Tolkien.
Fucking.
But there again, the episode was called The Jedi, the Witch, and the Warlord. And I'm just
like, what the fuck? Okay, so they have no originality. They're now ripping off J.R.R. Tolkien. Tolkien is now spinning more.
Well, I agree that the title is pretty ridiculous. However, that's a C.S. Lewis issue, not a Filoni issue technically, because, again, from the very beginning, Star Wars has borrowed from Lord of the Rings. Maybe it shouldn't have, but it's pretty obvious that, yes, there is a Lord of the Rings influence from the very first film. They just weren't paying attention. Speaking of the first film, they're getting really bent out of shape at old people fighting.
Because she felt sorry for me, and she's like, I don't want to watch a couple of old women duel badly. I'm going to bed.
Dude, that is Star Wars in a nutshell. Halfway through the episode, two middle-aged women end up fighting each other. I'm just like, Kathy's got what she wanted. This is it. Kathy's got everything she ever wanted. Two women in middle management with no fucking family or children fighting each other.
Dude. Star Wars is dead because the old women's are fighting. Two old women fighting. Oh man, Star Wars in decline. Gee, I didn't notice because in the first film we have Vader fighting Obi-Wan. To be fair, technically Vader canonically should be somewhat younger, but Obi's pretty old. And the fight is pretty pathetic. I don't think they really understand Star Wars at almost any level, but I will be fair, it seemed there was one point where both of them were wrong.
Dathomir. She's right before she gets abandoned, she goes for Dathomir. I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Well, Gary.
Well, for the record, for those confused, it's Dathomir. That's where Darth Maul is from. Dathomir. But he kept calling it Death Amir. I don't know why Gary did that, but he kept calling it Death Amir. It's not Death Amir. However, it does appear that Az got it right the first time. He also got something right about the TIE fighters. In the course of this 2 hours of neo-fascist, homophobic, sexist, racist nonsense, as usual for Gary and what's-his-name, they raised about 4 valid complaints, and 3 of them were insanely weak, and the last one was also pretty weak. But they raised a few valid complaints. Otherwise, yeah, it was just weird. As usual, extreme fascist conspiracies and just extreme fascism, basically. And not funny. Made a lot of weird, dumb jokes that were supposed to be edgy, but they were not funny. I'm forced to say, none of these people know Tolkien. They clearly don't know Star Wars, but between them, I would have to say Az at least knows a little bit more than Gary.
Every single shot of every single movie, but you do have to have a baseline cultural literacy that, again, Chris Stuckmann doesn't have.
And we get to see what this creature is. And it is a marvel of stop motion. However,